Don LaGreca with us, co-host of the Michael Kay Show on ESPN Radio 98.7 in, of course, the city. And Don, you're a Giants fan. Here we go. Giants at Cowboys. What do you see in the New York Giants going into Dallas? Do you think this is a team that is going to be more on their toes this week to start the game than last?
I would be shocked if they didn't go out there and play a much better game. My concern is you lose your best weapon in Victor Cruz, so that puts them in a very difficult spot to win in Dallas against arguably the best team in football. But if you look at the history of Eli, and we always fall back to 2007, that first year in which he won a Super Bowl, his first Super Bowl with the team. You know, he had that miserable 3-pick-6 game against the Minnesota Vikings at home, looked like the worst quarterback in football, and then the very next week they went to Chicago and he executed a game-winning drive. He has the ability to bounce back. I got to think that this defense can make some things happen. I think the effort is going to be there. The question is, do they have enough weapons to win when you lose a guy like Victor Cruz, easily their best and most dynamic wide receiver? He may not be a number one, that's Ruben Randle, but in a slot that doesn't get much better, than what he's been able to produce over the last couple of years. So I'd be shocked if they got blown out. I fully expect them to go out there and play a competitive game. They usually do against Dallas, but the way that offense is executing in Big D, the way Romo has played, the way Des Bryant has been, and with the Giants losing Victor Cruz, it could be tough to win that game in the fourth quarter.
Don, we talked to a lot of guys from Dallas, and they're all waiting for the other shoe to drop with this defense. They don't think it's nearly as good as it looks. Is this Giants team, even with the injuries, good enough to exploit that defense?
I think so, because forget what you saw last week against Philadelphia, because they just had it going on. But that offensive line, for the most part, has done a good job. The loss of Rashad Jennings hurts, but Williams has actually done a good job out of the backfield. I think there's the ability to run, and I think they can exploit some things out of a secondary. I think they can do that, and I just believe that they hit rock bottom against Philadelphia and can bounce back. But I think the matchup works. Maybe not to win the game, but I would be really shocked and floored if this game wasn't competitive and down to the wire.
Don LaGreca of the Michael Kay Show on ESPN Radio 98.7 in New York. And I got to ask you, Don, as a part of the New York Rangers radio network as well, the Rangers defense has had some real problems early in the season. Is this cause for concern or just kind of some rust that they're trying to knock off?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a bunch of things. First of all, I really don't know why Michael Koska was in that game the other night against the New York Islanders, why he sat Matt Hunwick. I thought Hunwick played very well as the sixth defenseman, and I don't know why he felt Koska was supposed to be in there, and had a couple of terrible giveaways that led to goals in the second and third periods against the Islanders. And then you lose Dan Boyle, and that's obviously going to hurt. But I don't worry about the defense as much as I worry about the continuity on offense with the loss of Stepan, the juggling of the lines, producing offense. I mean, that's not a very good Carolina team, and the Rangers were only able to muster one goal in regulation and overtime. So I think the defense will figure it out, and you've got a world-class goaltender in Lundqvist who got off to a slow start last year and still led them to a Stanley Cup final. But I don't concern myself with those things. I think taking advantage of Nash's hot start and finding some line combinations until Derek Stepan comes back, to me, are the biggest concerns with his team.
Woof! He knows a lot, man. Don LaGreca of ESPN Radio 98.7. And Don, we are your home for New York sports, and I tell you, you are the New York sports guy, so we love you, man. Thanks for your time today.
Anytime. My pleasure.